Hi, as you may understood from the title, this is not a simple tutorial, but it's actually a collaboration with the website, a French website called Perles & Co, which probably many of you know because it's well known internationally among all the beaders and all the creatives, because in particular they sell a wide range of beads and pearls, and all the material that I've received by them for free is actually for me to create this tutorial for you. So let's go ahead and see what they sent me and what I created with it, and I will show you the tutorial to proceed step by step, so that if you like to create the same, you know what to use in terms of colors and size and everything that I'm using to create the same. I will also add all the reference for the website to purchase the same material if you like, or for you to have the reference for all the codes for all the beads that I've been using. So here we are. Now I'm going to show you all that I've received by Perles & Co. Perles & Co, I think that's the name actually. So first of all, this cabochon, which is a Swarovski 4127. So it's a 30 per 22. It's a very nice color in light turquoise. It's actually the first time I purchased or I received this color, and I was really impressed. It's really pretty. Then I received these bicons, 4mm in Crystal Comet Argent Light shade, which is one of my favorite color because they are half silver, half crystal. And then the same color for 3mm bicons, Crystal Comet Argent Light again. Then I've received these bicons, which are 4mm, and the color is again turquoise, just like the matching cabochon. And then in Rocaille, which is seed beads from Yuki in 15.0, 961 is the code, which is a silver, and also Delicas in 11.0, and the code is 0551. Bright sterling plated is the shade for this, and is much more resistant than the galvanized silver. They don't fade, so I use these kind of beads really often. I found them really nice also in the way they look. Then I have Fireline thread in 0.06mm in crystal again. So this is all the material I received, and now let's go ahead and see what I've created using this kind of beads and material. So this is the bijou that I'm introducing today with this tutorial, and it's related to exactly what you've seen, like this element you've seen like now. It could be used as a pendant, but also as a pin if you like, not as a ring. I think it would be too big for a ring. It's very important, and it's really shiny and sparkly, as you can see. Moreover, today is a rainy day, so the light is not ideal for me to show you, but I guess you can kind of have an idea of how light reflecting and how sparkly this is. So let's see, what have I done? First of all, this central, which is a cabochon, as I said, the one I showed you just now. Code is 4127. Size is 30 per 22 in light turquoise. As I said though, I'm gonna write down in the info box below all the codes for you. So if I say something, you're not gonna lose it. You need 48 bicons, 40mm in Crystal Comet Argent Light. So you will need 48 of this, and then same color in 3mm. You will need 16. So 16 of this. Then again 16 bicon, 4mm in light turquoise. So 16 of these. Then just very few grams of delicas in 11/0 and seed beads 15/0. As I've already said that when I showed you the material for this, these color are bright sterling silver, and then fine line. Please make sure you use fine line for this work. I usually use 0.06. So because we're going to use Swarovski, like, you know, for this creation, if you pull the wire, you would risk that the wire cuts, or if you use normal thread, it will break. So make sure you use fine line, so it's resistant enough. Then of course you need a needle. And now let's start our tutorial. So the first operation will be the following. First of all, start with a very long piece of thread, so that you have to avoid, you know, to cut and add, join more stuff. So you just want to try to be as continuous as possible. So start with adding 4 Swarovski bicons, 4 millimeters, and close the circle. Pass again with the needle and wire in the same circle again after you close it, so that it's a little bit more firm, like this. Once you completed the circle, what you need to do is adding 3 more bicons in 4 millimeters, and then enter in the crystal, in the bicon crystal, from where you are exiting, but in the opposite direction, of course, like this. So I come back in the same bicon, and now I'm exiting, and now I need to enter in the 2 big bicon just on the right. So this one, let me zoom. So I'm coming out from this, entering, and I will enter in this one and the one on top, as this. So I've exited from here, and I pass through the first 2 on the side, coming out from top. What I need to do now is continue with the same methodology. 3 bicon by 4 millimeters on the same, and then enter in the same bead in the opposite direction. So I'm exiting on top, so I will enter from the bottom, just like you did in the previous step. So I enter in the opposite direction from here in our central bicon, and now I need to enter in the 2 next bicons, both of them, so that I can exit from the bicon that is in the central position, basically. Once I'm exiting from this, I will start from scratch. It's basically a right angle weave work, and you will just need to work a whole chain, working on the same pattern with your bicons. So I hope it makes sense in this way. So let's see how it looks. Basically, what you will need to have at the end is a row of bicons, basically. Starting with 48 bicons, you go ahead until you don't have only 2 bicons to add. So you go ahead until out of the 48 you only have 2 left, like this. This is my basically 4 millimeters bicons worked in a right angle weave, and now I need to close my circle. So how do I do that? Because I'm exiting from the central bicon, of course, because I've repeated the pattern, so either on top or on the bottom, depending how the work has gone. So in this case I'm exiting from the central bicon on top. and I need to join it with this end, which is ending with the central bicon. So as you can see, the modules are many little squares that have in common the common bicon in the central position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So how do I do to join this side with the other one? I already have 2, basically. So in order to join them, I will need 2 more, which are the 2 that I have left. So I'm exiting from this one. I will start entering one of the crystal on my needle, and I will join the other side of the work, entering from top, because I'm talking about the top side in this case. And once I'm exiting from this one, from this side, I will only have to add the very last bicon and entering on top of this one, so that basically the circle is perfectly symmetrical and the circle is closed. So I've done this and I've closed it as a circle. Maybe pass through some of the beads, avoiding the top ones, so that the thread is not visible. And when you're finished, you go a little bit in a step by step, basically, first on one side and then on the other. Now I'm exiting from the top of these, as you can see, in the central. And once you exit the central one, sorry, what I will do now, I will also enter one of the top one, so that I will be able, in between the spaces between each bicons, I will be able to add 1 delica in each of these spaces. So I'm exiting from this central and I start entering with my needle in the side one, in the side bicon, add 1 delica, pass through the bicon, add 1 delica, pass through the bicon, and so on through all the work. I'm starting showing some of them and then we can go ahead like this. As you can see, 1 here, and then I continue with adding delicas through all the work, like so. This is this round is finished. And now I need to add another step. So I'm exiting from the first one, basically, we added earlier, because I'm closing it. And I need to do this. I need to add on the needle 515 seed beads, entering the next one, exiting, adding 5 more, 15, passing through the delica, adding 5 more, 15, entering the delica, exiting, adding 5 more, and so on. Sorry. So that I will basically create some small 5 seed beads arches on top of each bicon, like this. So these are my little arches, made up by, each is made up by 5 15 seed beads, and I will do this for the whole round. So this is completed, all the series is completed, and I will exit from exactly from the center of one of the arches. So that would be the third 15 seed bead, basically. At this point, I will add 1 3mm Swarovski crystal, and then I will enter soon after in the point of the next arch. Then I will add another 3mm Swarovski crystal, and then we'll go in the next arch point. So all the round will have in between each arch 1 3mm Swarovski crystal bicon. I'll add some of them so I can show you. So I've added some of the 3mm bicons between each arch, and you can see how it should look if you proceed between each arch. Okay. So here is it done. After I've added all the bicons, I will pass through all the work to straighten it, and I will exit on the opposite direction, on the opposite side of the work, because I will need to tidy up a little bit and add inside my cabochon before closing it. So make sure to exit from any of these, any of these, any of the bicons on the below side. Okay, so I went on the other side of the work and I'm exiting from any of the Swarovski on the bottom. So do you remember on the other side we added one delica in between each space? So in this case I will do something similar, and before you close it, make sure you add the central cabochon facing with the right, the face down in this case. Okay, so 11 rocaille in each space, and I've added 15 seed beads in each space, and I've added my cabochon facing down. But of course it's not firm enough, the work at this moment, because I will need to add 2 more rounds on the back of the work. So do you remember on the front we did our little arches? We will do the same. So exit it from one of the seed beads, 15 add 5 more rocaille and create a little arch, pass through the next rocaille, the next seed bead, create a new arch with 5 seed beads, and go ahead, so that you have 5 seed beads on top of each bicon on this side as well. So on the face part, it will be between each arches there will be 3mm bicon. On this side it will be a waste basically, so because this won't be facing, nobody will see the back of the neck, of the pendant. Therefore we will just add 2 seed beads in between each arch, so that it makes sense, and you can just continue coming out. When you come out, add in the next point, arch point, and just continue. So you can see I've added 2 seed beads, and this allowed the work to tighten up as well, and firm. I can make it firmly as well. If you like, you can also go ahead and continue and keep narrowing, adding more rows in the same way, so that basically the back of the cabochon is completely covered with seed beads. However, I don't really do this. It really depends on the type of work, but it's more of a waste for me, and sometimes it doesn't look great because the back of the beads fades. I just think it's nicer to do it with another couple of rounds of these, or just leaving it as it is. As far you can also think to add some felt or any kind of Alcantara material on the back of it. It's just up to your practical sense, really, how you want to finish it. So in this case I will pass one more time with another round, and then I will close it. So once I've tidied it up, you can turn your work just like this. It's actually starting looking quite nice, I think. And you basically exit from one of the bicons from the bottom, the one that are touching the bottom of the work. Add 3 15/0 seed beads, enter in the next bicon, and you do the same for the whole round. Like this. So I've added 3 seed beads, 15/0 between each bicons. And this will create a sort of decoration alongside the edges of the work. Very well. So once I finish all these arches between each bicons, I can go up on my work with my needle. Let me just fix the light for a second. Okay, so I was saying, once I finish these arches, I can go up and basically up to the row of bicons in the top part, like these ones, because I will need to do the same thing between one bicon and the other one. I need to create these small tiny arches on the top part. So basically here and here, between this one and this one, and create tiny arches between each. Hope it makes sense, like this. So once this round is finished as well, I need to make the last round for the end result. So try to follow me. It's simple, but it needs a bit of attention. So I finish with my little picot slash mini arches on the top and bottom and top part. So I'm exiting from the central bead of the top picot. So I'm exiting from here. Let me zoom. Really good. I can wait maybe half an hour for my camera to zoom, but hold on, sorry, be patient. Okay, I'm exiting from here, and I need to pull my needle. This kind of pattern, 1 15/0, 1 4mm bicon, and another 15/0 seed bead. So two seed bead, 1 bicon. And once because I'm exiting from here, I will enter in this other picot edge, not the one just below, but the one on the right. It's kind of a zigzag pattern. Let's see. Just as you can see, it's not straight, but it will be kind of lateral. So I'm exiting from this one, from the central one on the bottom, and I will add the same exact sequence of beads. 1 15/0, 1 4mm bicon, 1 15/0. And then I will go not on the right up one, but in the middle seed bead on the side top picot. So I will skip the one on top. It's basically a zigzag work. It will be basically a V, and then another V, and so on, just like so. So this is positioned as well, and then I will go on just in the same way. So adding the same amount, same pattern of beads, and then I will enter in this one, basically in the point of this one. Then I will go out, I will add the same seed bead, bicon, blah blah blah, and I will go on, so that they all a little bit tending to go right and left on the on each pattern. And I proceed this way for the whole circle. So finally, here is our pendant completed. So the only thing you will need to do is do a little hook and add little little lace or a little necklace or a little chain, whatever you think is suitable for this kind of work. I hope everything was clear, that you didn't have any problem following this tutorial. And again, once again, I want to thank the website Perles & Co for the opportunity and for so that I could create this tutorial for you, and for sending me the material to create this. This is done. See you next time. Bye.